What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 79 of the weekly comic wrap up. I can't believe I'm saying 79, man. Time is flying. This is ridiculous, but big show, big show. I'm sure some of you have heard the show is now available on Spotify as well. So, to the Spotify listeners on Monday morning, thank you so much for tuning in. The channel for Spotify is official. There will be exclusive content taking place there as well. So by exclusive, I'm just going to do podcasts on Spotify as well. We're going to be doing some things on the YouTube side as well. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. But speaking YouTube, guys, Super Bowl is coming up. That's right, Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not even going to try to go live on the Super Bowl Sunday. Who is going to watch me? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. But I am going to be putting out a pre-record. So a pre-record is going to drop on Super Bowl Sunday. Keep an eye out for that. It's basically going to be this episode. Well, not this episode. This show, the weekly comic wrap-up in pre-record fashion. So there you have it. Now, it was a big week, big weekend. We had the Royal Rumble last night. As you can see, I'm in my wrestling gear. CM Punk, baby. We'll touch briefly on that. But I want to update you guys something. It's February. It's February. Yes, finally. I feel like January lasted forever. But with February, as we said, we're going to do more giveaways. And shout out to Michael Baker because he saw the news from Chris Evans this week saying that he is not part of anything Captain America related, Doomsday, etc. He doesn't believe it. I don't believe it. So we're still going to be giving away this awesome CGC 9/8 slab of Captain America. This is the Steve Rogers Captain America #1, second printing in a 9/8, guys. So if you're wondering what book this is, if this is new to you, well, it's the book where we hear Cap. Well, hear Cap. We read that Cap says, "Hail Hydra." That's right. Cap turning a terrible leaf in comics. Surprised everybody. It was horrible. Everybody was up in arms when this happened. But yes, great giveaway by Michael Baker. So thank you so much for this. It's going to take place in the month of February. You never know when. So you got to make sure to tune in. It could even happen tonight. You don't know. I don't know. We wing it. That's how we do it. But anyways, thank you, Michael Baker. An amazing giveaway. Highly appreciated. Now, before I bring on my ever so beautiful guest, yes, stunning, absolutely stunning. I can see him backstage. He sort of agrees, but I want to address something because you could see it in the title, guys. There's some, things going on within the world, neighbors south of the border, north of the border, wherever you're from, the States, Canada. Tonight's title says, comics, tariffs. This is something we need to think about, talk about. But I just want to put it out there tonight. I don't care for anybody's political stance. I don't care for any of that. We're not here to talk about that. I just want to focus on the comic side of things with what's happening in the real world. So tonight's discussion, we're going to dive into that, but let's keep it clean. Chat, if anybody starts talking politics or whatever side you're on, I'm ignoring you. Don't take it bad. I just don't want to talk about that. I'm here for comics, all right? So that being said, I want to bring on the ever so awesome JEOPARDY. What's up, bro?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. Dude, I was just talking about Royal Rumble. I know you watched it. You and I talk daily. Although we hate each other, we love each other. That's the relationship we have, right? We disagree on 99% of things when it comes to sports, when it comes to wrestling.
Listen, what am I going to tell you? The only thing you know about wrestling is the t-shirt that you bought. That's it. I mean, you're a fan of Cody Rhodes, and it's the worst possible heavyweight run that I've seen ever. So Stop. What am I going to do?
It's not the worst, bro. I've seen much worse. Come on, man.
Now I don't know. Him and Gunther have been both awful, congruently together. Like, they both suck at the same time.
Yeah, Gunther's been a bit rough. Although I got to say, he adds that old school feel. He really, like, when you see him with the title, that's what I think of, old school wrestling.
But Gunther as the Intercontinental was great.
Yeah.
And Cody chasing the title was also great.
Yeah.
It's that they've sucked once they got it. The booking, maybe. I know you want to give defense to Cody, but last night's show was awesome with Owens. Anyways, let's go. Let's get back on track.
Yeah, the show was great. I know people were up in arms over the fact that Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. I'm more upset that Charlotte Flair actually won the Rumble. I don't care much for Charlotte Flair. Kind of feels forced. My opinion.
Listen, man, they want to do Flair versus Tiffany. The blondes go at it, right? So what are you gonna do? They're gonna make her either win this one, or they're gonna make her win Elimination Chamber. She's winning one of the two.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna end up happening. Her versus Rhea. I think it's pretty inevitable.
No, I think this one is gonna be Tiffany. Rhea's
Really?
gonna be Io Sky, supposedly, is what they're saying.
I don't want to see that. I would love.
She's gonna because she's gonna be on SmackDown supposedly.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I would love to see her versus Rhea. I thought that would be the big thing. I feel like the two of them together clashing would be amazing. But if they're gonna go the other way, so be it. I mean, Tiffany. Okay, she's got a little bit of steam, but whatever.
Well, she got a lot of steam right now. She's got heat. The girl's got heat. More ways than one.
She does. But anyways, enough wrestling. Let's quickly say hello to the chat. We see you guys live chat. Again, available on Spotify. The shows are now available on Spotify. So if you guys are tuning in via Spotify, I appreciate you guys, showing some love, being here. But yeah, let's get into the show. We're going to kick it off with the FOC selections of the week by our brother, literally, Lefteros. So, Chia, bro, you ready?
Yeah, there's some good ones this week. Well, they're always pretty good, but there's some spicy ones finally. Because I think we had a couple of okay FOCs, but now we're back in action, in the swing of things.
Spicy is an understatement. Caliente. We're going with caliente.
And by the way, how great was this cover slide with the just worked so well.
So good. Yeah. Well, let's get to it. What is Chia talking about? This is the that he's talking about. So as you have it, FOC selections of the week for February 3rd. Now, of course, like I said, selections by Lefteros. So if you're not following Lefteros on Instagram, please do so at Lefteros. Now, if you like any of the books we're about to speak about and you live in the United States, well, you can get these books over at comicnation.us. The books are 15% off of the cover price already, but get yourself an additional 5% off by using discount code Black Crown. And if you're in Canada, this fine fellow right here, right below, Chiapet, go visit comiclegion.ca, where 20% off of cover price is already applied as you're about to hit that checkout. But if it's your first order, use discount code and list. You're going to get an additional 5% off, totaling it at 25% off, which is not too shabby. But you guys also get some points back after every purchase, which is also a huge plus because you can get yourself some free books down the road. So make sure you get your books pre-ordered, guys, and it's the best time to buy them. Because
a little message on the free books thing with the points. We haven't had a chance to upload back issues and slabs on the site, but they're not going to be only reserved for FOC. Those points are going to be available for back issues, for slabs. So, I mean, if you FOC and you get a lot of accumulation of points, you're going to eventually be able to use it and get a slab or something. Who knows?
Yeah. You never know. But the back issues, I know that you guys are working on bringing a lot more, so I'm excited to see that.
Yes.
But let's kick it off, man. First book on the list this week is actually Absolute Wonder Woman, issue number 5. Here we have the cover A. Now, the solicitation states that a cosmic threat encroaches on Gateway City. What was that team we just got with the Infernal thing? Oh, no, that was the next book, Batman. My bad. I'm mixing up the two. But
there's so many books.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just in general, guys, I'm loving the Ultimate line and the Absolute line. And the only issue I have with both is they're so good and so tightly woven that I worry that it does a disservice to the regular main line, which guys, I'm thinking books have been great for the last year and a half. So I'm reading everything. Like I just finished reading the X-Men run where Cyclops basically put the agent Lundquist in his place. It was incredible. That was Cyclops from the Bendis days where Cyclops was right and everything. But that's the only issue I have with these lines is that they're putting the main line a little bit on the. Well, first of all, ASM and on Ultimate is not even. They're not even the same ballpark, and as far as quality goes. But in general, that's the only thing I can draw back with the Absolute line.
Yeah,
it's better than Absolute. I personally believe Absolute Superman is better than regular Superman. Like as a character, I'm ready to say that, and I'm very close with Wonder Woman as well. She's more interesting.
Yeah. I would say for the current two titles, yes, it's very interesting. This entire take on Wonder Woman is just out of this world. I'm really enjoying it. Maybe people feel like I'm overhyping it, but I really think people are not flocking to Wonder Woman because Batman's been getting all the attention. But like, you are totally missing out if you're not reading this. Look, we're gonna apparently be getting a first appearance now. Clearly, first appearances, we tend to flock to the cover A. It's usually the breadwinner when it comes to first appearances, unless we see the character on the cover. But I will say the cover A alone, disregard the first appearances, is a neat cover. I love this cover right here, man. Dude, Omari kills this one.
How good are they, Omari? I mean, almost everything they do. Like the Energon stuff that they've done. Like that Megatron cover, the 1 in 50, I think it was, when he had one arm and he had Laserbeak. Like, how incredible was that cover? Like, every cover that they do is good.
Yeah.
Like, there you go.
Yeah. So, Comic Nation in the chat saying, as someone who never bothered reading Wonder Woman previously, this has been a fun introduction. Even if a modified origin and story, it's great. And I couldn't agree more, man. Whether it's first-time readers of Wonder Woman, which is pretty insane because you're learning about something totally different as a first time.
But just to say, Tom King's work is really good, too. Like he's nailing it, but this is so good that it's fresh, and I really want them to keep these lines small because it almost seems as if people gravitate to be able to collect all of them.
Yeah,
like I'm convinced Ultimate X-Men has sold more copies because people are completionists and the line is smaller, and people are hesitant to drop it because they just want to see where it goes because of that. Because it's a little bit more of a difficult read, especially for North American readers. And I really hope they do the same thing because it gives people a chance, like Comic Nation, who, if the line was so big, he would pass on the the Wonder Woman title because I'm reading 5-15 other Batman titles and Superman titles, right? But now they get a chance to be exposed to this, and they're seeing how great of a character it is. So, I'm loving what they're doing here with this.
I agree. Absolute Wonder Woman is a must grab for myself, especially read wise. I'm enjoying this. So, Absolute Wonder Woman, you saw the cover A. Here you have the Omari cover as the cover B, which is gorgeous. But up next, this is what I was talking about that I mixed up, is Justice League Unlimited issue number 4. Cover A solicitation states that Inferno's secret leader will be revealed. And that's what I was getting at is, we got the introduction to the Inferno team. Now we're going to finally see who the leader is. So, yeah, I'm totally going to be picking this up. Surprisingly, Justice League Unlimited, I'm, caught up. It's actually pretty cool. I like the Inferno team.
I believe Mark, I'm a big Mark Waid fan. Okay. He's done some work at Marvel. That's good. He's always been better in DC. The same goes for like Bendis. Bendis' work was good in DC. Some good stuff. His Marvel work was seminal. There's some people that belong somewhere. And Mora and Waid just make beautiful music.
Yeah.
World's Finest was amazing. This started off great. It feels as if you're reading an episode of the cartoon. Honestly, I can't say, and I don't know how Mora pulls out this much work. I don't. He's pulling off double duty, and it hasn't dropped off. Justice League and Superman. It doesn't even make, plus covers.
Yeah.
Like indie covers and everything. It doesn't even make sense to me. How fast does he work?
You're not wrong about it kind of feels like you're reading the cartoon, right? Like it feels like that.
And a part of that, a lot of it has to do with the fact that Mora, and I always say that there's a couple of artists that could do this. And I always say the two of them that come top of the mind are Mora and Jimmy Chung. They make classic costumes really cool. So if you see like Jimmy Chung do Magneto, it's always the classic looking Magneto. There's no modifications. There's no pouches. It's the same as Mora. Mora does the classic cool costumes, So it almost feels like it harkens back to those old animation stuff, which
Yeah.
are the old classic costumes,
Mhm.
but they're really cool and modern. So I'm loving it. I'm loving this whole thing. And the
Yeah.
Inferno Squad is cool. And now they're coming out with this Legion of the Society of Super. No, what is it again? The Supervillains team is coming. What's the villain team? The equivalent. Can't remember the name, but they're coming. The Society of Supervillains is coming. So it's I can't wait for that. Led by Lex in a traditional costume, the purple thing with the strap. So I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's super cool. But yeah, Justice League Unlimited 4 cover A right here. Up next, I think you guys might consider me crazy, but Batman Last Halloween issue 5, the cover A, dude, the Tim Sale cover is just insane. I love this. It's creepy. It's amazing. I love it. Everything about it, even down to the trade, the colors chosen for the actual title, everything. I
This
love
is
this.
a poster. This should be a poster. This is a lithograph. This is incredible. What I mean, like no one should call you crazy. This works on every level.
Yeah. I think it's gorgeous, man. Dude, it's such a good cover. Now, don't get me wrong. There's also the cover B here. I love this cover. Beautiful. But there's just something about that cover A that just is outstanding.
This one's terrifying too. This
Yeah.
is Bill at his peak powers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I prefer the cover A. And this one I prefer the cover A. As good as this is, I think the cover A is the way to go. I'm probably gonna get both because I'm a fool like that.
Yeah.
I can't resist.
It's okay.
But that's just I'm a cover sucker, bro. That's the way it is.
You're not alone, man. I tend to throw money at the books simply because of the cover. Like I always lock myself down a cover A. Obviously, I'm going to read the book, but then after I find myself buying the variants like a crazy person, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? What's for?
I got stuck on the Mark Brooks, the Disneyfication covers. I'm stuck on them. I need the whole thing now. I need every one of them, and there's like 5 a week.
Dude, especially when it's all a theme, right? Like when you have an entire like in the Marvel versus Capcom, right? You saw those covers, right? They came out with a batch, and now we have a new batch that's coming out very shortly.
They're smart. They know how to work us.
Yeah, so they came for our wallets.
It's interesting how I find that Marvel does better variant theme stuff, but the quality and production level is so much nicer on the DC books.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing. The concepts of the Marvel covers are cooler, and they sell much more variants because they do the themed ones. But the DC production is gorgeous, and they have sometimes they have this, and it's incredible.
Yeah, Leftero's saying that Sinkovich is doing the interiors on these books, so buy whichever cover, but just make sure you buy it. And he's not wrong. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But we'll keep it rolling because Radiant Black 31, guys. Here's the cover A, first issue of the Massiverse Rebuild Initiative, first appearance of an all-new villain. Now, apparently this villain is absolutely incredible. I know it's a very important character now coming into the Massiverse. But one thing I want to say is that I hope people don't take this as they're already restarting or rebuilding the Massiverse. It's not due to failure. Story-wise, some big events actually took place. Marshall is now Radiant Black. He was the second Radiant Black throughout the run. And then the fans had the opportunity to decide who was going to be Radiant Black moving forward. And this is who won. Now we're moving forward in a new direction. So we're getting a little bit of a rebuild. I'm excited about this. I'm finally caught up on Radiant Black, man. Dude, it's you know what? It's really I don't want to say it's overlooked because there is a great fan base for this, right?
I do think it's overlooked in a lot of ways.
But that's what I'm saying I think it should be talked about a lot more because Radiant Black came out with a bang. It was very strong and it continued to go very well. I got a little thrown off by the multiple titles tied to it, like Rogue Sun. You had Radiant Red, Radiant this. It was a lot to take in at once. Sorry?
There was also No One.
Yeah, No One. No One was actually good.
It was really cool, and the covers were great.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
No One, I think, went for 12 issues, something like that. Or at least that's where I think I left off. But
I agree with Comic Nation on that one.
Sorry,
they seem to have spread out too fast for the story, and then it got less focused.
Exactly. And I think that's what I was getting at. You know what I mean? It's like it kind of got overwhelming, a lot of titles. Rogue Sun was good. I really liked Rogue Sun, but Radiant Black, I think this is good. I'm really looking forward to this. It's a great read, man. It's really a good read.
Yeah,
But anyway,
the interesting thing about this was it almost had an invincible trajectory. People were jumping on it. People were going crazy. It was hot, and then they diluted it with too many things, and then they also, don't forget, a bunch of other initiatives came in. Right, we got Ghost Machine coming, then we got Energon coming. So everything within the image line, right, started taking a piece off it a little bit, right? So it's hard to get visibility in this crowded landscape, with these new sub imprints. I think that's what happened to it.
For sure. And you're not wrong. You factor that. You factor, it seems the chat's also pretty much in unison here with the multiple titles that came out. There was a lot to take in one shot. But yeah, man, I'm happy Radiant Black is coming out with issue 31, where we're going to have the Massiverse Rebuild initiative. So looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it too. I pick it up every month. So
yep. Great stuff.
Yeah, and Rogue Sun.
Yeah, but up next, we have Web of Spider-Verse, New Blood #1. Here's the main cover, first appearance and cover of Spider Prowler and Count Parker. Now, I know what you're all thinking, guys. So many Spider-Verse characters making their way. I gotta say, I'm liking the designs on these characters. It kind of reminds me, obviously, we all saw Spider-Man, the last movie, Across the Spider-Verse. I liked it. I liked the design.
Best Spider-Man movie of all time, probably.
Yeah, I liked the design of Prowler's. The Miles Morales Prowler. I thought it was cool.
Loved it.
I feel like this gives a little bit of a vibe, but not too much, right?
It's definitely playing off that. Vecchio did a great job. What's up, Guy?
Hey, Guy Forge is in the house, dropping a comment in the live chat. Yes, big shout out. You don't even need to ask me, bro. Happy 9th birthday, man, to your youngest. Tomorrow's his birthday. Spoil him. I see you taking them to baseball, the batting cages. You take them all around. One of the best dads out there, man. Guy's a phenomenal dude. But as a father, man, if you're following him on Instagram, that's how you dad. So shout out to Guy and shout out to your son on his 9th birthday tomorrow. But back to the book. So Web of Spider-Verse New Blood #1. Like I said, I love the design. But it doesn't end here. Yeah, it doesn't end here with the cover A. You also have the Wernick variant. So you have Count Parker on this cover. Very interesting design. Again, like I said, personally, I'm a big fan of the Spider Prowler one. So I'm totally going to pick this up. I want to read this, learn a little more about these characters.
I love that they got Greg Pak writing it. So that should be interesting. Yeah. And I love the Spider Prowler look, man. Listen, when I saw Spider Prowler appear in Edge of Spider-Verse, I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, oh man. And then you're realizing what's happening, and then you realize whatever the whole things. I mean, this, I guess, Count Parker seems all right, but nowhere near as cool as the Spider Prowler. I'm all in for the Spider Prowler. And you know what? I like these these Spider-Verse stuff. They're fun. They're one-offs. You read them. Some story. They're like, what if? Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. Like the last one we had, the Weapon. What was it? Weapon 8? H? No. What was the last one?
Weapon 8. Weapon 8.
Weapon 8. That was an incredible story. It was a great version of Parker. I mean, sometimes they're amazing. Sometimes they're not. That's how it works.
For myself, the Weapon 8 character reminded me a lot of it was like Cyclops, right?
100%,
totally had a Cyclops look going to it. But yeah, pretty interesting for Web of Spider-Verse New Blood #1. Now, up next, guys, I think everybody is up to date with Ultimates. Everybody should be reading Ultimates, but here we have issue 10, the main cover, first appearance of Earth 6160's Namor the Submariner, introduction of the Red Skull Gang. Now, pumped for that, man. I'm just pumped every time Ultimates has an issue coming out, because what a fucking great read.
I just read issue 9 today.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And it does that kind of time thing. You'll notice that what's happening a little bit there too.
Yeah.
This book, it only slightly behind Ultimate Spider-Man. As it's neck and neck. I think I like the fact that it's more world building. I just think the writing is a little bit tighter, and I prefer Spider-Man on the other one. And Wolverine hasn't had enough like issues to dislodge it as the number 2 spot. But it's neck and neck. This is a must read. It's the first read I get when it gets in.
Ultimate X-Men is definitely not at that level in my opinion.
No. And again, that doesn't mean it's a bad book. There are plenty of books that these levels are different. They're cut above, right? They're just. Yeah. And Dennis Camp is going to be doing the Martian Manhunter book, which I was not into because I thought the art looked ridiculous. I'm not the concept of the Play-Doh thing. But now I've been reading kind of things that it may not be an actual thing. It may be an entity within his head. The Martian might be possessing him. And that's kind of letting me a little bit into it. And I would give it a shot anyways because his work on the Ultimates has been so good.
Incredible. That
you have to give a guy a shot in his next one. And this book, introducing the Red Skull gang, I'm loving that idea.
Yeah.
and the Inyak Lee, I think, cover of Namor, going back to the old school look of him, is also... Wow. Do you have it? Do you have a slide of it?
So it's not here as a selection, but it is a wonderful cover, as you said, man. Inhyuk Lee did a phenomenal job on it.
Crazy.
You see Namor in the water, man, with the classic wings on his ankles.
Yes, he's got them classic.
Yeah, but it's a wonderful...
what's really interesting about the Ultimate Universe? In a lot of instances, they either do a really new cool character like Hawkeye or She-Hulk, but they also bring back original looks. Original Nick Fury. Original Namor, like traditional Namor, like so they kind of like mix it up with OG and the original. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, it is 100%. Now you were talking Ultimate Universe, so obviously it's a little hard because Hickman, like you said, is hitting home runs book after book. Every issue is a solid 10 in my opinion. Loving it, but yes, I agree with you. Ultimates is definitely there right behind it because it's phenomenal. I absolutely love everything Ultimates related. But up next, we have Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue number 6. Here's the Jay Gonzo variant. Now, this is simply a cover selection. It looks amazing. Love this cover.
Incredible. Has Gonzo did a bad cover? Has he done a bad cover?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. I can't say anything negative about Gonzo.
The Toxic Avenger cover last week, awesome.
Yep.
The Ghost Rider 2099 cover, ridiculous.
Insane. Yeah.
I couldn't believe that not everybody was snatching it up at the show. I couldn't understand that chainsaw. The angle, like honestly, incredible. And now this one, like an Egyptian / Day of the Dead thing coming at you with the skull as his body. Come on, it's awesome, ridiculous.
It's really badass. I love this. Like I said, this is totally a cover grab. It's very well done. Gonzo absolutely killed it. But up next, this is not tied to the Energon universe. No, but G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issue 314 is still going, guys. And you have the 1 in 10 incentive where you have Stalker negative space variant depiction by Francis Portela. Beautiful cover. Again, negative space stuff. Obviously, we've seen plenty of this, whether it be JTC, whether it be Nakayama, whether it be whoever at this point. But I really think Portela did a great job with this. I like the army camouflage on this, man, with the uniform. Really, really neat cover.
First of all, shout out to the multiple companies that have allowed Larry Hama to continue his story. Super cool. Let's be honest. Second thing is, this is the coolest negative space cover we've ever gotten.
It's up there.
It actually works with the character's outfit that he would be using in the field.
Yep.
It's just genius.
Yeah, it's well done. Dude,
I can't believe no one's ever thought of it before.
It's so well done. Even looking at this, I could already foresee like remarks, just even signatures, like it would pop, man. It would really pop.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah, and even if you choose to do none of the above, and you just keep this book in your collection, or display it on your wall, slab it, whatever it is, gorgeous cover.
This
really
says G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Also the logo with the stripes. Oh,
yeah. I'm over the negative space stuff. Like I totally don't.
It gets me sometimes. I feel like
I'm over. It's over. It's over. Not that it's fully over, but like it's redundant on certain, artists. No offense to them, but I really think Portela did a phenomenal job. But let's keep it rolling because Penthouse Comics 2025 #1. Here we have the cover E. Now it's a variant cover by Suspiria Vilches, and I just need to shout out Lefteros for putting this on the list because I think, of course, when you think Penthouse Comics, everybody loves the nudies. Everybody's looking for those limited to 2,000 copies or whatever it is. But Jesus, this is a sick cover, old school feels. Man, it kind of gives me those. Do you want to say EC Comics? The old school stuff. It kind of gives me that vibe.
Almost like a Grindhouse poster.
Yeah. Yes.
Like that's the look that Suspiria constantly goes for, right?
Yeah.
And it works so well. Like it's basically kind of like a poster you would see going into those 70s movies, Yeah. Like this is remarkable. And it's on Penthouse Comics, and people are going to sleep on this.
Absolutely.
Like I'm not sure everybody else that other than Lefteros is putting this on their cover slide for this week. It's that nice of a cover.
Yeah, dude, the second I saw this, I was like, you absolutely need to pick this up. Now, I see the chat is loving the covers, but there's still disappointment. There's no boobies, but have no fear because the tatas are here, guys. Cover D, you have the not safe for work polybag variant covered by Vecchio. Now, I can't tell you what's behind that, but I could assure you it's not much, if you know what I'm saying. So that's a neat cover for what we can see so far. So far, right?
These NSFW covers are popping off. Like we just had the Frizzen one that everybody's loving right now, and it's a great cover. Hello Darkness cover. It's awesome. Like it's a beautiful cover. The last Penthouse one was also nice. The NSFW that we showed at our show last time, it was really nice. Yep. I'm presuming Vecchio's is going to be amazing because they kill it all the time. What's up, Harry?
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. I think when it comes to Vecchio, especially such a cover, not safe for work, yes, sign me up. You mentioned the Frizzen one for Hello Darkness. I believe it was issue 7. Frizzen needs to draw titties more often. I'm campaigning this. I want to see more Frizzen art for boobs, man.
There's very few people who draw the woman form as good as Frizzen.
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. Right?
She has a knack for it. Let's go with that.
Literally. But again, guys, have no fear because we have actual titties making its way with the 1 in 10 incentive. Not safe for work polybag variant by Latte. Latte, another one, dude.
A murderer's row, right? On these covers. It's a
3.
murderer's
You get
row.
3 bangers right there.
3.
Yeah.
The only problem with the Penthouse Comics is the size of the book.
Yeah.
That's it.
It is.
Because storing them is a little bit of a, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. You can't put it in your long box. You can't hide it from your wife or your kids or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever it is that you're into. But that's the problem. Yeah, you have to find your big magazine short boxes. Which, I don't know, man. Have you been having a hard time finding them? I can't come across them at LCSs for some reason.
It's it's hard to come around them. Honestly, they either have to you have to get like a slab box and hope to get them in there. It's
That's it. You're buying CGC boxes to hide these things, right?
But even that, they're not cheap CGC boxes.
Yeah, they're not. They're really expensive, especially if you're buying those plastic ones. What is it, by BCW or something like that?
Look, I love the plastic black boxes. Most of my collection over COVID, I got it in plastic boxes and Mylites. Now it's gone out of control again. I have to take another 2 months off in the summertime to get it organized again. But you can't do it with the slabs. That box is too heavy. There's no way that you're gonna handle the box. I'm old man Nick, can't handle that.
Yeah, we went from tits to boxes in a span of not even 2 minutes of conversation.
That's how we roll.
That's how we do it. There you go. But anyways, Wolverine issue number 7, guys. Stephen Platt is on fire with banger covers, like he's always been. To be honest, so no surprise here to see this one. But it's a Wolverine 88 homage cover. This is so good. I don't care. Fight me if you think otherwise.
Who would fight you?
I love this. This is so good.
First of all, I always love the character Romulus. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
So Always liked it. You know, just because it's a badass worst version of Sabretooth, right?
Yeah.
Then on top of that, you have the homage to that great Wolverine 88 cover. So that's another thing.
Yep.
And then third, on top of that, you have it done by Platt.
Yeah. Platt kills it. Dude, just everything about this, man. The color choice, the art is great. The only thing that kind of throws me off is the face. On the right hand side, dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah, is that Cyber in the back there?
I think so. It's a throw off, right? Like I'm assuming that's what it is, but it kind of
I guess. But I mean, it doesn't really bother me that much because the images are so dynamic.
Yeah,
that I'm okay with it. But yeah, I can see what you're talking about. Yeah, 100%.
Otherwise, to me, it's perfection. Beautiful cover. Majority of the chat agrees in the live chat, so I appreciate you guys. But yeah, man, love this cover. Now, speaking covers, guys, we all saw the madness take place on the secondary market when it came to the Marvel Rivals covers. Now, you have been warned again, like we've said on previous episodes. When these hit FOC, pick them up, right? Pick them up. We knew.
Pick them up on FOC, guys.
Yeah, we knew about these. I think the one we really focused on this show was really the Galacta with Jeff the Landshark, because you would figure, you know, Galacta being pretty much the narrator of the video game, and Jeff the Landshark's big explosive love that took place after the video game. But now we have a few covers here. We have the Doctor Strange one. I love the Loki Hela one. Then you have the Moon Knight one. 3 awesome covers. For myself, the Loki Hela one is the winner. Hang tight, guys. There's actually more that's going to be coming up on the future FOCs in the upcoming weeks, because yes. But I will say, I think we kind of missed the boat when it comes to secondary market success, because now people are very well aware of Marvel Rivals. Still, I would suggest ordering these, whether you want to complete it, whether you're a fan or you think there might be some potential on the secondary market. Who knows? Certain shops might hold these from collectors, right? These are things that could take place. Do yourself a favor. Just lock down a copy. That's just my suggestion. If you choose not to, it's okay. It's totally okay. But if you like this, you like Marvel Rivals, you can't go wrong. I'm picking up at least 1 copy of each.
By the way, the art on all the covers have been great.
Yeah.
Whether it's Peach's covers or the NT's crew that did the stuff.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man looked good. The Venom looked good. The Magic looked good. The Storm looked cool. Like the Doctor Strange. I mean, we're not even talking about that outfit is fire back there.
Yep.
With the black and the red and the white streaks in his hair. It's great. The Moon Knight looks incredible. They all look great.
Yep.
If you don't pay attention and you slip through FOC again, you made a comment about how you think people would have ordered it and met the demand. I mean, I gotta say, I presumed after Ultimate Spider-Man, when Absolute Batman would come out, everybody wouldn't be caught with their pants down. Yeah. And people did.
Hey, it is what it is, man.
Like, it's 7 months later, guys. You literally experienced it. You know,
hey,
great
but
creative team,
again,
relaunch super character.
Again, it is what it is, Nick. It is what it is, dude.
So don't assume that people learn, is what I'm saying to you. You know.
No, for sure. I know that. Trust me, I do. But again, fair warning that we are going to have some Marvel Rivals covers on FOC right now, so you're still in time to lock them in. Now, to give you guys an idea, the Doctor Strange one is actually on Doctor Strange of Asgard issue number 1. Also has a wonderful Clayton Crane cover. I don't know if you saw that. The Loki Hela one is Immortal Thor issue 21. So that is another book. So if you're just listening and you're not seeing the covers, you might want to pick that up. Hit up your local shops, tell them that that's the one that you're looking for. And then to the far right, we have obviously Moon Knight, which we just spoke about the book a little earlier on the show, but it's Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu issue number 6. So those are the 3 for the Marvel Rivals. And yeah, great
Alex was asking about the Doom one. I think the Doom one is the 2 Dooms fighting each other, right?
Yeah, so the Doom one is gonna be hitting FOC shortly.
Yeah,
It's not on FOC this
it's
week.
also incredible though. The
Yeah.
two Dooms coming out. Is it like basically Doom 2099 and regular Doom, or is it Ultimate's Doom? Anyway, whatever it is, it's still awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic cover. I'm happy to see that Alex is in the chat already anticipating that one. That means he saw
Oh yeah,
and he knows. He
yeah.
knows.
He
Oh yeah,
ain't missing that one.
exactly. But up next we have Jim Henson's Labyrinth issue number 6. David Bowie cover depiction by Raza. Dude, this cover is stunning. Fan of Bowie or not, I gotta give credit to Raza. I think Raza did a phenomenal job. This is gorgeous.
Again, there's so many cover buys, but I'm a cover sucker, so I accept that. This one is like a historic cover if you think about it. It's very rare you see a cover this beautiful.
Yeah.
And I mean, who's not a fan of David Bowie? Even if you don't like all his music, you got to respect the body of work. It's incredible, you know, and how he transformed through genre to genre. Right at the end of the day, he was a transformative artist, for lack of better terms. And it's really cool that it applies to Labyrinth, you know, because that's a kind of like metaphysical type thing that Bowie was known for.
Yep.
So this thing is perfection. Like, it's gorgeous. But the lighting, it literally is incredible.
Yeah, it just looks amazing. I love this beautiful cover by Raza. But up next, guys, Nyx issue number 9, the 1 in 25 incentive. It's obviously an X25 cover depiction by Fan Yang. Now, I'm not too familiar with Fan Yang. I don't entirely know this artist, but it looks like I need to start paying attention because this cover is neat. This is sick.
Well, first off, it has maybe a top 5 X character going on right now in X23. Yeah. So let's be honest. She's incredible. And she's almost on every single NYX cover because she's the one that sells the most of all the books.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And I don't know who Fang Yang is, but damn, do they bring the sauce. This thing is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's an anime artist or a manga artist that they're bringing over to do more cover work. I'm not sure, but
no idea.
It's incredible.
I saw this on the list, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to learn about Fan Yang.
So yeah, this thing is it like the next Momoko? You know, like they found, and they're gonna bring it over here to start doing covers because this thing is it's incredible. Like,
yep, absolutely.
I need this cover.
Yep. Shout out to Comic Journey. CJ's in the house, man. In the chat saying sex sells. Absolutely, yeah, best believe it does.
This last Christmas, I think it was last one, I got her first appearance as a gift from my family. So Lefteros and the boys, they know how much I like this character. It's one of the last few Wolverine keys other than the main one that I need to get. But so I'm a massive fan of Laura. So this cover is a must. I need to find it. I need to not, if we get enough orders, I need to not put it on the show and just tell Terry that it's lost.
Yeah, man. Look, that's not a bad plan, of course, so you can scoop it up for yourself. But like I said, I'm not familiar with Fan Yang, so some wonderful first time, art that I'm seeing here. I see the chat. Shout out to my brother UniX who's here in the chat. I see Harry in the chat. A lot of people saying that they definitely want to hunt this one down. Gorgeous cover. I hope everybody gets one because it is absolutely stunning. Now, Fantastic Four #1, guys, facsimiles. Look, I don't entirely hate facsimiles. I know that people, it's a good opportunity to pick up the book. You want to read it in print form. You want to maybe just get a copy for your kids or whatever. But man, Alex Ross, this homage cover to Fantastic Four 1, yo, Ross killed it. If I'm not mistaken, I had seen somebody in one of our chats, CHIA, saying that this was an exclusive poster or something that Alex Ross had on a website or something, and now it's going to be printed on this cover. So that's pretty cool. I just think it's a wicked homage cover by Alex Ross.
When Alex Ross does the vintage covers, they're just so cool, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I love the idea that they put this on the facsimile. I think it's a really cool idea. You're giving a little bit of pop for the facsimile. But
not only pop. one thing that we always see on facsimiles is basically it's a reprint of the original cover, etc. It's nice to see this. Even when we had 1 in 25 incentives of the facsimiles, I was enjoying seeing those new
Yeah,
covers, right?
yeah.
I'll openly say that the ASM 252 one was not entirely my favorite of all these, you
But
know,
I like the idea of it.
exactly. Now, this available at cover price, I don't got to pay ratio price. Fuck yeah, I'm going to pick this up.
100%. This is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like this is the best facsimiles I've encountered were the Energon facsimiles for Transformers #1 and G.I. Joe #1.
Yeah.
Because the great thing about them, they printed on newsprint, so they went real old school. Like the book felt lighter. It was that old school. So those are my favorite. Now that was cool because as a concept, they were more high end in that way, even though they were probably low end. But you know what I'm trying to say, high end. They went the extra mile. This is taking a beautiful Alex Ross poster and giving us a chance to own it in a facsimile. So
Yeah.
I think, to me, it's if they need to do this more often with the facsimiles. If you're gonna do facsimiles, give us another option other than just like the foil version.
Exactly.
Right?
I hate that shit. When they start doing the foil stuff, it's like, oh god. And the worst part is that the shops ended up having to pay the premium. I don't know if you remember that. They started with the Hulk 181, and that one ended up going for, you know, the regular price that the shops
Yeah.
pay for. Most shops were upselling the shit out of them. But I'm happy to see this now. You know, Alex Ross, and again, shout out to Comic Journey who's in the chat, because as I said earlier, it was printed somewhere else. I know that this was available as an Alex Ross, either like poster exclusive, or, you know, Comic Journey saying that he thinks he had it in one of his art books. But
I
this
think
was
also
previous. Go ahead.
Lefteros mentioned how he had it as an exclusive with the site with a different logo.
Oh, okay. So there you go, man.
There you
So
go. Yeah.
was also an exclusive on his site for Fantastic Four 1, but with newer trade dress. That's cool. So you get the opportunity to pick this up at cover price. I'm gonna do it. I'm totally gonna do it.
Every day, any day.
Yeah, but let's keep it rolling because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Naruto #1 is going to a second printing. Dude, I saw this in stacks at shops, whether I was in Ottawa, whether I was in Montreal, no matter which shop I was hitting up, I was seeing stacks of this on the shelves. A lot of people ordered, of course, shops heavily ordering this. Now it's going to a second printing. It's the first issue of the TMNT and Naruto crossover miniseries, but it doesn't end there because the second printing, I'm no fan of this when they do this, but you have the 1 in 10 incentive of the second printing in, obviously, you know, just a regular black and white sketch. Cool.
Yeah, listen, there's hardcore followings for both.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer, right? That they're gonna hit into the second print market.
Yeah.
I would probably pick up one just to have it, you know. FOC it. You never know what may happen with the crazy Naruto fans.
Yeah.
So you know, but I mean, I'm not a. I mean, I like the Turtles, and I'm not really into Naruto, right?
No.
So that's the thing.
Exactly.
But I mean, it is. I would get one just to have one, though. To be honest with you.
Same.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Pop Kill
Oh.
#1, guys. Yes, Pop Kill #1, the cover B. Here you have the variant cover by Dan Panosian, but hang tight, guys. Doesn't end there when it comes to Pop Kill #1. We actually have a cover B. We were talking titties before. Well, yep, sex sells. We got another explicit variant for Pop Kills as well. This one by Stelfreeze. Pretty nice cover. I would like to see a bit more, but unfortunately, we're not allowed to see this until it's in our hands. And
yeah,
what you do with it afterwards, that's between you and yourself. But then you have the 1 in 10.
I never saw this.
Yeah, dude, Amanda Connor, kill this. This is really nice. I like the Pop Kill being the dress here.
Yeah, that whole like Austin Powers 70s, 60s vibe.
Right now, it's interesting because it's the trade dress. You see what they did there? You see what they did there?
They're clever. Yeah. That's like a dad joke, but yeah, they're clever.
Yeah, it's pretty clever. But I like this. It's well done. All three covers are nice. Now, it's funny because I was talking about Pop Kill a few weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I had Infamous Jeb on the show, and we brought up the Adam Hughes cover. And that Adam Hughes cover, man, is going for a crazy premium. That's because it was only available on the Kickstarter and on certain packages. Had you ordered that package via Kickstarter. Now, Pop Kill is going to be available for everybody to pick up a copy and read. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the story is about two brothers. I think they were twins or whatever, and each brother is basically an owner of a pop company, kind of like
That's right.
Coca-Cola versus Pepsi. So I don't know how the clash takes place. I don't know what the story is going to be like, but I'm interested. I'm going to pick up a copy for sure. Panosian's had a phenomenal couple of months, man. His covers have been bangers. This is a nice cover. I really like it. I think I'm going to go with the Tariffs because, boobies.
Look, this is another case where all three covers are incredible. Right? It's like the Penthouse. There's three bangers right here.
Yeah. So
the Panosian and the Tariffs are both almost must grabs.
Yeah. David Lepage.
No pun intended.
David Lepage in the chat is saying that Previews World shows the boobs, so I might need to make my way over to Previews World. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Any of these covers on the original Kickstarter? I don't believe so. I would have to double check. I do know the Adam Hughes one was the big winner on the secondary market when it came to
that would be really, really skeevy of them to put the covers that were on the Kickstarter here.
Yeah.
Like, people pay a premium there. I mean, they should at least get the covers that no one else has. I mean, I don't know if that's the case, but they should. I mean, because already reprinting the book is kind of a thing. I know it's a lot of time has passed, but if you're going to also reprint the covers, that's not cool to those people,
No, dude, for that, I totally agree with you. But to show you guys very quickly, because the question came up, why not take a look? I actually brought up the Kickstarter. So here's a little sneak preview. I'm already liking page 1. Yes, here we go. This is what I'm talking about.
Well, even the concept, by the way, doesn't it sound like some kind of like action comedy that like Jason Statham and somebody else would be the brothers trying to kill each other? Like, doesn't that sound like a Keanu Reeves, Jason Statham buddy comedy, trying to murder each other action movie?
Yeah. And, looking at what's available on the Kickstarter, the only thing, there's a top secret Amanda Connor cover, so I'm not seeing anything regarding that. But yeah, man, so pretty cool.
Looks like it's different ones.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be. Yeah. But anyways, guys, those were the FOC picks of the week. Now, like I said at the beginning, if you guys live in the United States, you want to order any of these books, nobody's telling you to buy these all. You buy whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, we almost made it through the segment without the comment.
I'm sorry. Hey, listen, you do what you want. If you want to order them, you got comicnation.us. If you live in the United States, you get 15% off of the cover price, but use discount code BlackCrown to get an additional 5, totaling it off to 20% off of the book. Canada, go visit comiclegion.ca. You get 20% off of the cover price automatically, but if it's your first order, just use discount code ENLIST and you'll get 25% off of your first order. Now, if you want to know more about some of the selections by Lefteros, you can go check out covrprice.com, where you can find the FOC article by Lefteros. So shout out to Lefteros. Don't forget to subscribe to Cover Price, because you can catch myself over on Tuesday nights doing the top 10 with Laura, with Gabe, with Marty, and on Thursdays where I host the Cover Price Shaker Show with the same suspects. Now,
1 second before you continue.
Yeah,
the team that Cover Price has assembled, from Matt on down, Lefteros, you, Laura, everybody, hands down, best in the business. You guys are killing it. I'm just gonna tell you guys, it's incredible. The information you bring,
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
The life and the positivity you guys bring to the community. It's really appreciated.
Thank you.
You guys stand out amongst the crowd of naysayers and complainers, and it's awesome.
I appreciate that. I'll give them all credit, especially Gabe, Laura.
Oh yeah, they're way better than you. Yeah,
John,
you're like the least on the total, 100%.
I'm like,
you're barely holding on. You're like the coyote holding on to the side.
Would you say I'm like the Montreal Canadiens in the
Why
NFL?
would you bring up the Canadiens?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to go there.
Good night, and I hope they hurt your Kings. That's what I hope.
Stop it. I'm a Kings fan, and I'm also a Habs fan. Don't.
But you want to hurt me.
I just want to hurt you, no one else. But speaking hurting, let's see whose wallets were hurting on the secondary markets, because we're gonna get into the market report. You ready? He's not ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Sorry.
Okay, that's all. I want to make sure you're ready. Let's go. All right, guys, it's time for the market report, where I look at some sales that took place on the secondary market. Now, whether it be the House of Stein, whether it be CBSI, Key Collector, Covrprice, Go Collect, eBay. Long story short, whether it be Bird himself, whether it be anybody, Brian McClay, I'm always keeping an eye out, and I like to talk some of these books, but most importantly, Michael Baker. That's right. We named it the Baker Shakers because Michael Baker hits me up every single week showing me books that sold on the secondary market. Now, some of these might have made multiple lists. I'm not writing every single list on the books that the books have made their way on. So let's kick it off. We'll get into the first book, with it being Adventures of Superman $4.99. Here is the third printing. Now, we just spoke the DC Universe logos last week when I had TJ on, and we were, talking about another Superman issue that had this. CGC 98, $2,000, dude. Cover price daily shaker, mind blowing. But yeah, you know the story. You know the story behind the DC Universe logo. Even the Nightwing issue #1. Dude, the low grades sell at such a premium. These are hard to find.
Wow. I didn't think that'd be 2,000 USD.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit like the newsstand stuff. Like, people trip out over the newsstand. It's never been that for me, So, but yeah, I mean, again, I always say when people buy these kind of books that seem kind of like overpriced to me, I think it's just people that have a different budget or less of a budget. They could just buy what they want.
Clearly,
there's no way. I don't think average collectors would shop this way. So I think it's a different person buying it. So it's hard for us to comment on it.
You have to factor as well that some of these, especially the DC Universe logos, like the Walmart packs and stuff like that, these were in packs as such, and coming across 9/8 is nearly impossible. Absolutely impossible. So scarcity is what plays into the reason for this, because nobody would pick this up. It's not a key issue. There's nothing key related to this outside of that reason being the DC Universe and logo and the scarcity. It's really all that there is to this.
But also, it has to be scarcity coupled with a person willing to pay it.
Yes, absolutely.
At the end of the day, there's somebody who loves these so much, the DC Universe books so much in a high grade, that they're willing to pay it. That became their niche of wanting to collect, the rarest of the rare. So there are people out like that, So wow, I mean,
nuts. But hey, if you could afford it, and this means
go for it. Yeah.
Nobody's judging entirely, but yeah. Anyways, Adventures of Superman $4.99, CGC 98, $2,000 for that third printing DC Universe copy. Wow. Anyways, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, guys. We saw this all around, man, and I was seeing this circulating for the last couple of months. But the Midtown Comics exclusive cover by Dan Panosian, who we just spoke about in the FOC selections of the week by Left Arrows, CGC 98 of this, $260 cover price daily shaker, this being the highest sale recorded to date, by the way. Now there's two versions of this that is available. You have the regular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trade, and then you have this one right here, which is going for a premium, as you can see.
Look, man, I love Panosian, so I'd be all over this. I could easily see myself buy this. I mean, look, April looks incredible. So it's funny. Baker mentioned Spawn level crazy for the last book. I was literally about to mention that about this is Baker. This is Spawn level crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one right here, it's incredible. Like Dan Panosian has been having a year. It's wow. I mean, every one of his covers are incredible.
This is stunning, dude. Stunning. April is looking delicious. I don't blame the turtles for going goo goo gaga over her.
But even the background too, like the city, like that like claustrophobic Tokyo city or something that's going on.
Yeah.
The whole thing is great. I really hope he's not using AI and going to get banned from books. I mean, I really hope that doesn't happen. Because it's going to ruin his rep. And
Yeah.
My God, he used to suck so bad back in the day as an artist.
Yeah.
What version of Rob Liefeld? How did he become so good? It doesn't even make sense.
It's crazy. It's
It's
absolutely nuts.
how good he's developed.
Yep. I love how the chat's still talking about the Superman issue, The Adventures of Superman 499. Comic Journey saying he would take 8 of these over the DC Universe variant any day. I don't blame him. I absolutely don't blame him.
You know what the funny thing is about that 8 comment? If you want to flip them, it's easier to flip 8 of these than it is that one of those.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But somebody mentioned it in the chat and shout out. I forget who it was that had said it. It was actually JSS Brooklyn saying that it's actually an homage to Superman 14, and I did not catch that. So that is pretty neat when you factor that. Again, no, I wouldn't be spending $2,000. But anyways, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, Midtown Comics exclusive, cover by Dan Panosian, CGC 98, $260. High sale, top sale for this one. Beautiful cover. But up next, guys, it's inevitable. I'm going to mention it. A video game cover. A video game book. Sonic the Hedgehog, issue 98. First appearance of Shadow the Hedgehog and Ivo Robotnik, CGC 98. $1,700. I'm happy to both report that, and I'm also devastated to report that, because this is a book I've wanted in my collection forever, and it is so out of reach. The video game of Sonic Adventures 2 is one of the, if not the best, Sonic video game of all time. I will fight anybody who wants to tell me otherwise. But besides that, the movie being a huge success, it's monstrous. I've watched it at least 1,000 times with my kids, but the first appearance of Shadow the Hedgehog really driving this book. Shadow is just so loved, especially after the film. My kids love it. So seeing Sonic, still to this day, right? When I was a kid, I didn't think I'd be, now sitting in front of a computer at 35 years old talking about Sonic being the in thing for kids now, right?
Look, man, you know my take. I grew up a Mario boy. I thought Sonic games sucked compared to Mario games. But the reality is the Sonic movies are way better than the Mario movie.
Oh,
they're better. They're better. The story's funner. The characters are funner. The comedy's a little bit more adult. Like they have a couple of jokes that, directed towards us. It's like a good version, like a Sonic version of a Pixar movie where it works on an adult level and a kid level. And I could see why this is worth that much. Like, the Sonic character is good, and then the Shadow character was incredible. They got Keanu Reeves doing it. Yeah. Knuckles is incredible with Elba. Like, they're all working. Like, honestly, like I can't believe I'm that much of a fan of the Sonic movies. It doesn't even make sense to me.
Crazy. You finally watched the third one, right?
Yeah, I watched the third one twice.
It's so good, eh? It's so good.
The movies are good.
Yeah, man. Keanu Reeves did a great job with Shadow. Dude, Jim Carrey, I will not stress it enough. Absolutely. He's one of the best actors of all time. I don't care what anyone says. But what I love about this cover, it also is my favorite stage in the video game. It's got the best song during that stage. You've got shadows back towards you on this cover. You got Sonic at the forefront on that snowboard going down the street. Yeah, but anyways. But wonderful book, CGC 98 of Sonic the Hedgehog 98, selling at $1,700. That is the highest sale recorded by Covrprice. Now, Vampirella Mind Warp issue #2. This is back from 2022. First cover artwork by Mark Spears, CGC 98, $350. Cover price daily shaker. What would any aftermarket talk be without talking about Mark Spears right now? Right? So, beautiful cover. I know, he has, what's the other book? I think it's Ultiman that had his first interior artwork, but this cover now getting some love. And I find it surprising because CGC 98 being $350, you have his Monsters book hitting way higher numbers. If you could pick between, let's say, this or the Bridezilla, what are you leaning towards and why?
I think I'd probably go for this one because I think the key factor is a little bit more prominent kind of thing, right? Like it's his first work, right? But I do think there's something cool about the Monsters run because it taps into two things. It taps into the homage thing, and then it uses our pop culture reference to those universal monsters in the traditional form, right? The Dracula, the Wolfman, Frankenstein, they're all in their vintage OG form, and then he's doing an homage with them, even the witch, So I think that thing is kind of hitting us on an emotional 1-2 punch, bang bang, and I think that's why those things are working with everybody.
Absolutely.
And, I saw the ones that were the trade justice ones for issue 3, I think, or was it the third print of number 1 that had the Marvel anniversary border around it, the Dracula one and the witch one. Yeah, they were incredible. I kept looking at them, I'm like, I know why people are freaking out. They're amazing.
Yeah,
it's just really good.
You're talking about the Marvel 25th anniversary.
Yes, exactly. Those were so good. They did such a good job.
Now, Monsters gets a lot of love, but unfortunately, not a lot of people talk about the inside of the book, which is, in my opinion, even better than the covers. The Bridezilla one, obviously, getting a lot more of the love. Yeah. It's funny because you could probably buy 2 of these for the price of the Bridezilla one right now. But
it's that much?
Yeah, dude. This cover is gorgeous. Mark Spears obviously getting a lot of love since the drop of Monsters. Curious to see how much longer that love continues. I hope it continues for him and his sake. I love the way he drew this. When you got thighs looking like a big prosciutto like that, I'm in. I'm in, baby.
Yeah, like Flynn. He has a very unique color palette too. I think that's what sets him apart.
I'm noticing those hints of blue all the time though. The blue is like really, I think
he does like the blue and the fluorescent green. That's he loves the fluorescent green there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But very, very beautiful cover. Vampirella Mind Warp number 2, CGC 98, $350. Now up next, Amazing Spider-Man 800. This is the 3rd printing, guys, and it's the first full appearance of Normie Osborn as Goblin Child. I know that when this came out originally, it was the talk of town. Raw near mint copy of this, $175. Cover price Daily Shaker. And dude, not many people have the 3rd printing. That's all I'm gonna say about this. I didn't see. I've actually never even seen the 3rd printing in person.
I don't think I've ever seen this in my life.
Yeah.
I love this character. Jeb's got a few of those. Not shocked. It's funny when you popped it up there. The first thing I thought was Jeb has this for sure. This is. I love the character. It's super rare. I could see why it's going for a premium, and it's, I believe, a black cover. So those must be hard to get in high grade.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, this makes a lot. This tracks for me for that price. That price, and it's also a really cool character. The Goblin Child. The whole storyline was really cool. So yeah,
I enjoyed it. I loved seeing Normie take on the whole mantle of Goblin Child.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, but raw near mint plus for this, $175. Pretty interesting sale, and it's cool to see that that's what it's holding at. Raw, guys, raw dog.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's have a laugh. We spoke boobs a lot tonight. We're gonna have to continue it just a little bit because VIP number 1. You remember VIP? We're going back to 2000, my friends. 2000. 7 CGC 9/8 on the census. Pamela Anderson, guys. VIP. Did anybody watch the show? I feel bad if you did, but CGC 9/8. $230. Cover price Daily Shaker. This is a big sale for this book. At no point did I think this would ever be worth $230.
There must be very limited, and there's probably a lot of Pamela Anderson older people who would want this. I'm laughing because
older people, easy, Nick.
Well, my age, so I mean, I'm old. I'm laughing because you know how we have a discourse now where we're always complaining about this and the shows we get to watch, and like, oh, this is not good, this is mid, this is meh. We're always complaining, because it doesn't reach pinnacle and they're not all the Penguin, like, and we're all complaining.
Yeah,
dude. This is the kind of genre show we used to have when I was a kid. This, Hercules, Xena. Like, dude, Like, what are we complaining about? We're literally living in geek paradise. The fact that there's something for everybody. Like, this is what we had, guys. This Baywatch Nights, or like you got like Stargate Atlantis, like what god awful stuff, guys. I mean, Stargate Atlantis had a couple of good episodes, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, and now we're complaining. This is what we had, guys, and the people are paying $230 to retrace their childhood now.
The last time anybody spoke poorly about Stargate on the show, they got annihilated in the chat. I can't remember if it was you, to be honest.
Why do you think I revised myself immediately? Because I think I was barking up a wrong tree right there.
Yeah, I hold no responsibility for whatever he says regarding Stargate. But VIP, man, it's funny. And I saw somebody in the chat mention Barbarella. I don't know if you remember. Barbed Wire, sorry, not Barbed.
Of course, I remember Barbed Wire.
Yeah, that was good times, man. Good times.
Did you by any chance watch the Sebastian Stan show about Tommy and
yes, absolutely, Tommy and Pamela. Yeah,
wonderful series on Disney Plus. I highly recommend anybody get a chance to watch it. It was incredible. The best part of it. Yeah. Sorry, what you want to say?
No, I was gonna say I watched it, but like they really portrayed Tommy Lee to be a complete dick, which I have no surprise that he. I'm a huge Motley Crue fan. I love Tommy Lee, but fuck, they ruined him in that book.
He's a Greek idol. Every Greek fan loves Tommy Lee, and we all know he's a massive dick. The guy was a monster. My point is,
you're speaking character only, right? Not the porn video.
We're not going to talk about the actual appendages.
Yeah. Okay.
The point is that, do you remember how pumped she was for the Barbed Wire premiere?
Yeah.
The poor woman thought she had a masterpiece on her hands.
And
the movie's unwatchable.
It's terrible.
It's so bad. See, if that is how she felt about the movie, being on the inside and then knowing how bad the movie is, my God, how poor is your taste?
Yeah.
It was such a tragic, cringy scene to see. It was Michael Scott level cringe.
We have multiple reasons to question Pamela Anderson's taste, but anyways, VIP number 1. There's 7 CGC 9/8s on the census, and a 9/8 sold for 200.
7 people sent it in. Minimum 7 people.
I don't understand why, but anyway. Let's move on. We're talking TV shows. I want to talk about Heroes number 2. That's right. There is a comic for Heroes. NBC Gold Foil logo promotional. There's 30 CGC universals on the census of CGC. That means blue labels. Now, this was with, I think it was BBC and or what was the? I forget what the other company was, but NBC being involved. CGC 9/8, $207. This is a Baker Shaker. I had no idea about this. This is actually a promotional. So it's pretty cool to see this. I never got into Heroes. I never got into it.
Listen, this I would love to have this. So awesome find by Baker. Really cool. Heroes, you have to know, Heroes' first season was off the charts good. It was incredible. Great promotion campaign, great acting, wonderful, mysterious villain. Everything worked. The problem is they never properly thought out that show. And then it got really bad really quickly. Like they didn't think it through. And that's when it fell apart. They lost what they had in there. There you go. Baker said the same thing. First season.
So the whole chat saying they by the way loved the show, and it's just something I guess I totally missed out on. I can't speak to anything you're saying right now, but continue.
Yeah, it fell apart afterwards. They didn't properly think it through. I always maintain the whole overarching story in the first season was one of the characters could tell the future, and New York was supposed to be to explode, right? Yeah. And then they averted it. But I've always maintained they should have let New York die. And you'll tell me why. I mean,
hold on. You're speaking, and I'm remembering a bit of that. I remember.
Yeah, the Asian character. Yeah, so he could see the future. So he was on a quest to prevent New York from blowing up. Right, that was his quest. And I've always maintained that if you're going to continue the series, you need to make his premonition happen, because then it's more fatalist. So then it progresses the character. Oh, next time, what's the point of trying? I'm going to fail again. And that brings a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Suspense to the next premonition he has. But if you averts it, it kind of castrated the whole kind of fear of it, right? And then you lost a little bit of it, I think, on that as well. And then that whole catchphrase, save the cheerleader, save the world, which was amazing. You lose a little bit of it afterwards, like once they did that, they didn't have a second one to kind of catch up with that, I think.
I'm happy you brought me up to speed on that. It sounds like I need to go back and watch some of this, but I see Alex in the chat saying
that's a good point, Alex. Yeah, there was a writer's strike back then. That's why it was such a mess, the second season and everything. You're right.
Yeah,
that could very well be of it.
But yeah, so if you guys were a fan of Heroes,
I would definitely get this.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. You have the NBC logo there in a gold foil, seal right there, which is pretty cool. And CGC 98 selling at $207 US, which isn't too shabby considering, right? Baker Shaker tonight. So thank you, Michael Baker. Now, what's a Baker Shaker without a Spawn book? Well, Spawn number 1, that black and white 1-in-50 ratio, was only available if you were ordering 65, and that means Spawn 65. So you had to order 50 copies of Spawn 65 in order to get this Spawn number 1 1-in-50 ratio. And a CGC 98 for this just recently sold for $1,682 US. Baker Shaker this week. I've seen this a few times, but not too many times out there in the wild. This Spawn number 1, it's a sick cover.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really love this cover that much. I've seen Todd do so many better covers.
Yeah,
I mean, and then I see the price. This is a Spawn crazy price, so it tracks perfectly fine for a Spawn ratio. But I mean, I'm not loving this cover that much, to be honest. I mean, I don't think it's dynamic. And the thing I always found about Todd, his best work is when the character is doing something dynamic.
Yeah.
When he gets to play with the proportions and the angles and the positioning. When they're just standing there, I feel it loses a little bit of what makes Todd, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. Definitely when there's action involved, movements, etc., like Todd McFarlane definitely shines.
That's when I...
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Like, no, I remember there was one that came out recently where he did a cover, and I think Spawn was, again, just standing there, and there was, like, faces there, and I'm like, that's not as great as what he usually does. And then I see another cover he does, whether it's the Misery cover or even the Knights versus Samurai cover that he did, and they're, like, so much better just because there's action, and he really does good on like, dragons, things like that. Like, he kills those as well. But just in general, I prefer when Todd is in action and in his motion in his work.
Yeah, you said dragons, and I'm thinking the Samurai book.
That's right. That's the one I'm talking about. It's great cover.
Yeah, it's wonderful. But Spawn 1, the 1-in-50 black and white ratio. CGC 98, $1,682. Baker Shaker this week. But check this out, guys. Baker bringing some information to us because Marvel Rivals, we spoke about it earlier. There's certain covers, all covers that have come out up to date, popped on the secondary market. But Marvel Rivals has a mini art book that was available at San Diego Comic-Con 2024. It was an exclusive panel giveaway, and raw copies of this right now are selling on the secondary market. You're finding them at $296 US. You could find some a little lower. I did see some sales at around $240, $250. But just to give you an idea of what the range is, let's say anywhere between $250 to $296. Pretty impressive for this Marvel Rivals mini art book. It's not anything crazy. It's just, again, tied to San Diego Comic-Con. It was exclusive. Not many out there. Marvel Rivals being a huge success. And here you go. All the recipe to see why this is selling for the price it is for a raw.
Look, this seems insane a little bit. I mean, people are obsessed with this, and I think it's going to come down. I said it before, I think in our chat, I think when we spoke, the two of us, or maybe, I really believe the crossover between video games and comics is way stronger than the crossover between shows and movies and comics.
Yeah.
I think maybe the spec wise it's stronger in a movie, right? Because the character might reach pop culture zeitgeist and on a different level, right? But I think driving sales and driving people to the product, I think by nature, a character who plays video games is more prone to read a comic than a person who enjoys movies. I think it's a much bigger avenue to generate sales for the comics afterwards. It's way bigger. I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, you're not entirely wrong, man. I think this is absolutely insane. But again, I could totally understand when you factor the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive side to this. Pacino talking about the one shot being heavily ordered and taken from digital stories going to be first time in print, and he's talking about that. You know, I believe in April we're going to be getting the one shot of Marvel Rivals. I'm excited about that, but at the same time, I'm not expecting anything to take place with that book on the secondary market. But pretty interesting to see Marvel Rivals, this mini art book for a raw copy, going at $296. Now, I love this book. I loved this read. I really liked Kane to begin with, but Scarlet Spider #1. This is the 1 in 25 ratio cover by Mark Bagley. There's only 33 copies on the CGC census in a 9.8, and a CGC 9.8 sold for $445 US. Not too bad for Scarlet Spider. You're going back, I think this was 2012, I want to say, somewhere around there. But dude, for a 1 in 25, you know, $445 US. Yeah, I think this is a pretty cool sale.
Look, this is Bagley at the height of his powers, right here. Like this is a Bagley cover. He took his time. He rendered the character. I mean, the suit is cool. Everything about this. Yeah, there you go. This is one of Bagley's best, for sure. He basically kind of like made his Ultimate Spider-Man kind of thing, like the slender kind of Spider-Man with like a more badass costume kind of thing. You know, this thing is off the charts great. I could see why it's worth that. I would definitely pay that for this book. This is incredible. Like, honestly, I see no issue with this price or purchasing this book.
I love this cover, man. There's another cover as well from Scarlet Spider run that I loved, was the one where you see the hoodie burning. It's on fire. The hoodie of Ben Reilly is it's so good. So good. I love it. This 1 in 25 CGC 9.8 going for $445 US. Pretty impressive sale. I like this Baker Shaker this week. But guys, Detective Comics 880. That's right. The newsstand edition. Talk about premium, but possibly the best cover by Jock of all time. CGC 9.6, not a 9.8, $700 US.
Look, I wouldn't go after the newsstand. There's no way.
No.
I want this cover. I don't have it in my collection.
Same.
My brother does. Still annoyed at it. I think my brother got it at one of Harry's OG warehouse sales.
Wow.
Like during mid-COVID, he got it. I need to get a copy of this. Look, the late newsstands, the premium's high.
Yeah.
Period. You know? And this may be one of the greatest Joker covers of all time. It's not just a great Jock cover. It's one of the greatest Joker covers, I think, of all time. Period. I mean, it's incredible. It's terrifying. It's genius with the bats. Everything is good on it. Everything.
Yeah.
So I can't say anything wrong with this.
You're not wrong. I really put this up there with as Jock's best cover. I think it's one of his best covers of all time. It's a classic modern comic cover, and I think it's always going to stand the test of time. But that newsstand premium does hurt, man. CGC 9.6, $700 US. Like you said, later on, as we get into the later 90s, early 2000s, those newsstands are very small percentage when it comes to the print run, right? You're looking at maybe, I think, 2% or 5% maximum.
This is like 210.
Yeah, dude. You don't see many.
And a DC book.
Yeah, exactly. But Detective Comics 880 newsstand edition, CGC 9.6, $700 US. Guys, that is it for the market report tonight. But it is time we get into the spicy conversations, which is the hot topics. And as I told you guys, we're going to be touching on some of the stuff that's taking place in the real world that might impact the comics. And by that, I mean the tariffs. Now, like I said, whatever your political stance is, I don't care. I don't care to hear about it. I just want to talk about the possibilities of the impact that it's going to have on comics as a whole. So, for the last time tonight, Chia, I need to ask you, sir, are you ready?
Damn straight.
Baby, let's go. All right, guys, hot topics of the week. Now, before we get into some of that spicy, caliente talk, there's some other stuff that took place this week, so let's get into it. First, apparently, the first trailer for Fantastic Four, First Steps, will reportedly premiere this Tuesday, February 4th. Now, it's apparently going to debut on Good Morning America, which I find interesting because we're just days away from the Super Bowl, 1 week. And you would figure that's where they would be throwing that up. But no, they're going with February 4, Fantastic Four. Let's go. I'm excited.
I'm ecstatic. Listen, I'm interested in seeing Cap 4 a lot. You know, I'm really hyped for the Thunderbolts. Like, I think the Thunderbolts looks like Guardians of the Galaxy, but Earthbound, you know?
Yep.
Like seeing Sentry. I've always been a fan of the character, a dysfunctional, crazy Superman. It's incredible, like a great idea. You know, the trailers were amazing. The music was good. You know, the 90s kind of like alt rock kind of thing, you know? Paramore and all that stuff, I think it was, you know? And I believe James Gunn is nailing Superman. Like, I think the Superman is going to be the movie of the summer. Like, it's going to hit the pop culture zeitgeist. I think we're all going to be, like, fiending over that movie. The puppy is going to be cool. I even think that we're going to do the Puppy Bowl instead of the Super Bowl might be cool because they'll own the Puppy Bowl and people will still talk about how cute it is. So it makes sense.
The Puppy Bowl is the shit. Like, I watched that with my kids.
Exactly. So it makes sense on that.
Yeah.
The concept of this movie, though, with everything we've seen in the marketing, you know, the palette that they've chosen, some of the clips we've seen, some of the behind the footage, their outfits, and being like in a retro futuristic Jetsons type world is so, for me, exciting, right? That this is my most anticipated because I think it's such a massive swing. I think it's the swing that they're taking here is basically kind of doing what Loki did with that kind of vintage sci-fi
feel,
TVA stuff, like the technology kind of thing, like was kind of throwback kind of thing, almost like in the Severance that they do kind of with the old school technology, but in a futuristic way.
Yeah.
But in a movie, you know, it's one thing you do it on Loki and it's like small and quaint and like, oh, you have like a lunchroom with like the key lime pies and we think it's amazing and cool and everything.
The key lime pies.
Yeah, you know, but they're doing that kind of swing in a movie. And to me, it's exciting, it's ambitious, and seeing a giant Galactus walking through the city, I think it's incredible. So I'm super pumped for this. If it's as good as I think, I mean, I'm shocked. And if they throw in RDJ Doom too, like, oh, come on. We're not going to see the trailer, but you know.
I could do without the Doom stuff. I really want to know what's taking place with the Fantastic Four. We've already gotten reference. You know, Doctor Strange clearly knows who they are. Right? We got that subtle reference of, didn't you guys pop off in the 60s? My question is, now we're going to be seeing the Fantastic Four in this movie. Is it taking place in the actual timeline of the MCU, or are we looking at another universe? Did they settle in another universe and, you know, build themselves there and something takes place? They got to figure out some shit. I have no idea, right? There's so many possibilities this movie, you know, and directions that this can possibly go in. I'm excited to see how they're going to play out, because clearly they're going to be at the forefront with the X-Men as well, moving forward after Secret Wars. So if this is true, I look forward to the trailer drop. I cannot wait. I hope it does drop Tuesday morning. I don't remember who it was in the chat that just brought up a very good point, but, you know, ABC, Good Morning America, ABC's owned by Disney.
Yeah, of course.
There you go. It was JSS Brooklyn. Shout out to JSS Brooklyn, my paisan. Thank you so much. But yeah, man. Let's hope that that's the case. If not, if we don't see any trailer Tuesday morning,
I'm gonna be fuming. But I think that they're also making room for the Super Bowl to have Cap 4 trailer, which is coming around the corner, and they're gonna drop the Thunderbolts trailer. And people online are surmising that if they do a Thunderbolts trailer, a new one, they're also going to include the Sentry in it. So in this week, you may get a new Cap trailer, which will probably reveal the leader, I presume, a Thunderbolts trailer, which would reveal Sentry, and a FF trailer that would reveal Galactus at the very least, if not as female surfer as well.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of content.
Yeah, definitely.
Superman trailer. So let's go.
Let's do it, baby. Let's hope. Tuesday, we look forward to. Now, I found this interesting, guys. I found this actually bold as hell. So, Daredevil Born Again showrunner compares the MCU series to the Penguin. So, he says, we're even more grounded, even less stylized, even more rooted in the here and now. I loved Penguin. We're a little faster, meaner, cleaner in our storytelling. Whoa. Pull it back a bit. Just pull it back a bit. Dude, to me, the Penguin was damn near perfection.
I adored. I thought it's a masterpiece. Penguin's a masterpiece. But I've always felt that the Batman is the best Batman movie as well. Like I went on record when I first saw it. I'm like,
you're talking about the Robert Pattinson one.
Yeah, I think there's only one gripe I had with the Batman was I think that we didn't have enough Bruce Wayne, and I'm willing to concede it that Bruce grows into realizing Gotham needs him as well as the Batman. And he starts putting himself out there in public because I think they made some references. Bruce, you're needed. I think Alfred mentioned a couple of times that they need you as well as the Batman, right? So I'm hoping that he realized that he can help uplift Batman, Gotham publicly as well. That there's a two-pronged effect. Yeah. So that was the only gripe. And then the Penguin, I have a couple of gripes. One gripe in the sense that what he did in episode 8, I think, seems like a bridge too far in the flashback episode, I think, for a child that age. But other than that, I think it's a masterpiece.
It was, dude, it was menacing. It solidified him as a villain.
No, but you know what I'm talking about? Not what he did at the end.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to spoil anything. What he did in the flashback episode.
Yes.
It just seems that it seems very malicious to have done it at that age. That's all I'm saying. It seems like I don't know if it was needed.
But it shows you he was always messed up. He was
I know. No, I get it.
And you know what? The relationship he had with his mom was very Norman Bates, bro.
Well, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously that was a weird relationship. So, but other than that, I think it's like a 10 on 10. These are just minor gripes, you know?
Yeah.
I admire that the showrunner here is basically, calling his shot. He's Babe Ruthing this thing.
Yeah.
He's saying, yeah, bro, that's amazing. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
So I admire the chutzpah. I don't think everything needs to be compared to each other. And that, and like we said it before about Ultimate X-Men, just because you're not as good as Ultimate Spider-Man doesn't mean you're not good.
Yeah.
So even if Daredevil is not as good as the Penguin, doesn't mean it's not amazing.
I think Daredevil is gonna hit it out of the park. I think it's gonna be fucking incredible.
Yeah, I'm there with you, but I'm just saying, even if it's not, not everything has to be like Skeleton Crew is not as good as Andor. It's still good. It's just not Andor. I mean, it's okay. You can enjoy both. You know what I'm trying to say?
I watched the first episode of Skeleton Crew. I couldn't get into it again.
Oh no, it's pure joy. It's Goonies. If you like the Goonies,
I did love the Goonies. I love the Goonies.
So watch the show. You're gonna end up loving the show. It's incredible.
I feel like it's the same thing. I guess even with the other one. What was it? Acolyte. It's like
it's not like Acolyte at all.
No. What I'm saying is Acolyte. I gave up rather quickly. I think I made it to 3 episodes, and I was like,
Yeah, but Acolyte was, hey, there's a mystery box. Let's hope the mystery box is good.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh no, your mystery box is terrible.
Yeah.
You didn't fulfill the mystery box.
Yeah.
The mystery box show is good. You can give them enough, rope to go. But if it ain't good, if the mystery doesn't work afterwards, if the reason the Jedi are taking a vow of celibacy and suicidal is hokey, then your story falls apart. And that's what happened with the Acolyte. apart
sure.
from the bad acting and corny dialogue, it also the nut of it is not good. Skeleton Crew is the opposite. Every little mystery that unfolds, it adds layers, and the Goonie kids are incredible.
Yeah. I gotta say, I agree with Cliff saying that he believes in Daredevil. I do as well. Definitely, they are going to knock it out of the park. I don't think otherwise. But I need to address, before we move on to the next topic, Derek saying, BC, very bold of you to pick Nick's episode as the first podcast release. as much as I appreciate the kind words, but I'm crazy, but not that crazy. Last week's episode is actually online on Spotify, so that's the first episode.
But
I went with the safe bet, which was TJ, who's a
but I don't understand.
humble
I'm at an hour and 35 minutes. We're gonna have wrapped it up way less than TJ probably.
We'll see. I had to shorten the show. We only did 11 picks on the market because we all know how CHIA can get, but that's okay. Let's move on.
I'm giving you guys valuable information, guys.
You do. You know what? I give you that. That's
Derek, you're killing me.
Yeah, I love it. But anyways, guys, this week we got not one but 2 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and I gotta say, I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was a neat take on Spider-Man. It was very different. Too many character changes, in my opinion. I think that was something that really stood out in a strange way. What was cool is we saw Doctor Strange in there, which we already anticipated based on many of the leaks and trailers, etc. We knew he was going to be in there. Clearly, they're expanding the multiverse stuff, but I couldn't help but wonder by the end of this. The 2 episodes passed, and I'm like, where are they going with this? You have Doctor Strange in here. Are they going to have fun come Secret Wars and maybe just throw in an animated character? I have no idea. But it was just kind of like, okay, but are we just enjoying this for what it is? And that's what I was doing so far with the first 2 episodes. I found Nico to be a very interesting character to pair up with Peter Parker in this universe. But one last thing I want to mention that kind of threw me off. And I was happy to see a lot of people talk about this online because it immediately, I don't know, it's the most important Spider-Man thing ever. And it's with great power comes great responsibility. He gets bitten by the spider after the fact that Uncle Ben's gone. And it kind of threw me off, just a little bit. Tom Holland, we didn't get to see much of that, right? The main MCU stuff. But they did the right thing by skipping more of the origin story with the Tom Holland stuff. Nobody wanted to see it again. This was a very interesting take. 2 episodes in, I like the animation. I know people were not too crazy about it. I thought it was all right. What do you think of this?
Here, see, the origin thing, we never got to see when they bit Tom Holland's Peter either. And there's some similarities to this one to the Tom Holland one.
Yeah.
So it may be that in the MCU as well, they didn't have it, that he got that power afterwards and he learned the power and responsibility with Aunt May passing away. Like there might be it might be more similar to that story. I think we're gonna get a point where he learns the power and responsibility thing. It's coming up the way it did in the MCU. I think I loved Coleman Domingo as Norman Osborn. I think he was menacing as F. Like honestly, you hear his voice and you're like, oh my god, this sounds like Norman would sound. Like almost sneakily smarter than you, talking to you. Everything oozed intelligence. I think that was enough of a race/gender switch. I think populating him with Lonnie Lincoln and Nico and Amadeus Cho and the Wakanda girl and Jean and Pearl, I think that's great. I think incorporating lesser known characters that are more diverse. Sure. I don't think we needed to switch. It didn't bother me. Like it didn't hinder my enjoyment of the show, but it felt almost like, okay, we added those characters. Cool. I think Nico's character is great. I think Lonnie's story is going to devastate us. Like when we realize where it's going and how close he was and how good of a kid he was and what makes him, what happens to him, right? It's gonna break us, and that's amazing. But I don't think you needed to change Dr. Connors. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would you need to change Dr. Connors? Didn't make sense.
It made no sense.
It's like you went out of your way to do something. And again, I get why you did Norman. You hear Coleman Domingo talk, you're like, okay, I want him to be my Norman. Like him coming in, the MCU as Norman Osborn, you would want that. He looks crazy. He sounds crazy. You know, he has like, there's like fear every time he talks. So I get why you would do that. The other ones, unless there's a story idea that's going to come back from the heritage or something that would enhance the Connor story, I don't think why you did it. But again, didn't bother me at all. Loved seeing Doctor Strange in the beginning. I thought he was cool with the pencil mustache and everything. It was great to see. The animation, you get used to it real quick. And the story of Peter helping his neighborhood, like really being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, like helping the girl that robbed and trying to get her another chance, you know? And I was thinking to myself, oh man, don't do it. Don't make her become a villain again, because then prove him wrong. It's going to be devastating for Peter, you know? Like, let him get this win, you know, at that moment, you know? Like, I really was rooting for this Peter. I thought it was great, you know, that the whole thing. So, yeah. And I heard, by the way, from the reviewers who've seen it all, the first 2 episodes are the worst.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, by far. Like, by the 10th episode, you're fully in love, especially in the supporting characters.
Well,
like, you like Nico and Lincoln, like we just mentioned.
Yeah.
We're fully invested in their characters by the end of it.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of great characters here. I love the fact that Amadeus Cho is here, man. I think this is a great introduction of, you know, the character for viewers that are not too familiar with the character. But
did you get the other ones? Did you get Pearl being waved?
Yeah. For sure.
She's waving. And the Wizard was there as well. Yep. Bentley, he was the professor.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a few of them. There was a couple other ones too, I think.
But that's what I'm getting at, is there's multiple characters as such. Amadeus Cho, is probably my favorite of all the characters, but we're going to see developments. We're going to see a lot of these characters now brought to the forefront. It's a great way to introduce, the casual viewer to some of these characters. The symbiote that made its way into the universe was pretty strange, very menacing, weird looking. Will we see a black suit? Who knows? We do know we're going to get him in the Future Foundation suit. Yeah. So curious to see how that's going to play out. Will the Fantastic Four appear in this? There's many possibilities, but 2 episodes in, I'm on board. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'm happy to hear these are the worst ones, because they weren't that good. They were just okay. But anyways, CHIA, chat, everybody listening at home, it's time we get into the hard talk. Now, those of you watching can clearly see the slide. The tariff stuff, like I said, I don't want to hear political stances, guys. I'm going to completely ignore it if it pops up in the chat. But it is a reality. Like I said, this is what we're facing at the moment on both sides. Now, the tariff stuff already now having a little bit of an impact. And I came across this article by Bleeding Cool, and I just wanted to show you guys that the tariffs cost Bad Idea Comics $200,000, could kill Hank Howard guarantee, which is basically Bad Idea has this going right now. And this $200,000 thing, there was a 30-day guarantee involved in this. So I'll get into this. Obviously now it's jeopardizing it. The Kickstarter with Bad Idea, as you can see, Donald Trump has announced new 25% tariffs on companies importing products from Canada and Mexico into the US, and 10% on Canada. Reciprocating tariffs will now be imposed on other countries importing from the USA. It's an old-fashioned trade war with all of the usual consequences. Many comic book publishers both print and ship internationally. The Canadian paper mills have a strong reputation for pricing comic books as a result of their expertise and proximity to logging forests. While China has a strong reputation for publishing high-end art books, the kind that are very heavy, but not as time-sensitive and can be shipped across the oceans. Well, as of Tuesday, that all changes. Dinesh of Bad Idea Comics is currently in the middle of their campaign for Robert Venditti's and David Lapham's Hank Howard Pizza Detective, including a guarantee. And this is what's interesting, is it includes a guarantee that they would ship the hardcover 30 days after that campaign ended. Well, not anymore. That's the problem. They can't do that anymore. Dinesh tells Bleeding Cool that this is a huge issue. For instance, our current Hank Howard campaign, where we guaranteed the hardcover in 30 days or your entire order is free, just became borderline impossible to fulfill at current costs. possibly a $200,000 loss to them. So this is huge. This is a big loss. Sad to really hear this taking place for Bad Idea with their Kickstarter. If for the fans who backed this and might get a free copy, I mean, yes, you win some here on that front, but I can't help but feel bad for Bad Idea on this one. Now, Chia, we can talk about this in just a second, but the hard times are here, and it's clearly going to go all around. My question now is, what does this mean for new comics in general, right? Again, I want to focus just the comics. Like I said, I don't care what's happening, what stance you're on, if you're pro this or pro that. For me, it's now you look at this and the impact it's having. What does this mean for new comics? And you're a shop owner, Chia. You're pretty much embracing for the next step now. We don't know exactly what the next step is going to be with the tariff stuff when it comes to such stuff, comics, etc. But you would assume that now, let's say, I don't know, comics, the paper trade, whatever it is that causes this to steer completely or nearly off track, there's going to be a price hike for sure, right? That's something that I'm foreseeing. Now I'm foreseeing, the regular $4.99 book, especially for ourselves, is going to skyrocket. Whether this is short term or long term is to be seen, right? And we don't know yet. I would assume it's going to be a shorter term, but it almost feels like the next couple of months, if it's only going to be months, we might see a decrease in new comic book sales. We might see a decrease in print runs, which, I mean, if you're capable of still purchasing books, should there be a price hike, that kind of works in your favor on the print run side. If you're one of those, hey, this is a low print run. But there's many things that could factor here and impact the hobby for new books specifically.
So I think, we should be taking a wait and see attitude right now.
Yeah.
We don't know, first of all, if the tariffs will affect books, right? How they will affect books, what it means to be printed in Canada, but be American product and then being shipped back to Canada. Like, what's that basically? If it's a product that's printed in Canada, right, and then shipped to the States and brought back to Canada, why would Canada put an import on something that's printed in it? You get what I'm trying to say? Where is the tariff hitting from? On the publishers bringing it back into the country, or on the importers that are putting it out, right? Like, who's footing that bill afterwards, right? Exactly. And how much longer after books that are solicited? So we've been solicited all the way up to like a month from now. When does that come into effect, if it comes into effect, right? Because what the stipulations are. I'm sure in the coming week we'll find out more information from the publishers, and they'll probably have a unified stance on this. I would hope that cooler heads will prevail.
Yeah.
As time goes on, and everybody will realize how beneficial this North American thing has been for us all,
Yeah.
And we could continue prospering as a wonderful continent that we've had apart from everything. And that's what the ideal goal is.
Yeah.
Now,
no, exactly.
Comics are, at the end of the day, a luxury, not a necessity, right? For the majority of the population, So if things get, let's say the tariffs are not affecting comics, the prices don't change for anybody, right? For any publisher. They lucked out. It's not going to be affected by anybody. If everything else in your life has went up, right? If everything else in your life costs more, it'll affect comic sales, because comic sales are a luxury. They're not a necessity. So that it will be cut out. Going to the movies will be affected.
Yeah.
More haircuts will be affected. Buying a video game will be affected. A comic book will be affected. So instead of buying 5 a week, you buy 3 a week. 3, 4, 3, 4. Like to get what I think that's where we could probably see definitely an inflection point and a point that will hurt, even if it's not affecting comics directly. There'll be an indirect pressure point put on it for sure. Because every human being will have a pressure point put on them because their day-to-day dollar will be strained a lot more, right? So I think at the end of the day, there are things like that are going to happen that are outside the control of even a publisher. Even if, us as a retailer, as you guys see with the FOC discount we do and everything, we do our best to keep our costs down because we understand and we appreciate. Like, I grew up where the comic book was $1.25. Like, I fully appreciate that it's hard for people to buy, a comic. It's expensive compared to what it used to be. I fully, my Lefteros loves covering comics and giving people insight into comics. And if you go see most of his posts, 95% of them talk about open orders.
Yeah.
Because he understands how he wants to stretch the dollar for everybody. So we're cognizant of that. We're collectors at heart. So that's something that we definitely see and appreciate. So personally, as a store, all I could say is we're going to do everything, all our ways to possible, whether it's for our American customers, holding the hold box longer, right?
Yeah.
Try to save it till, if the tariffs are there, till after the tariffs are gone, right? Because we presume that it'll be a transient thing and it'll be over soon, right? But there are maybe ways that we could figure out things like that, But at the end of the day, we have to see where it goes, how it lines up, how long it'll last.
Exactly.
I think being worried about the future is not, I've heard the doom and gloom about comics in my 48 years and 40 years of collecting maybe 5 times in my life. I lived through the major crash of the 2000s, or the early, whatever that was, after the boom, right? So, let's just see how it comes down to it. I think it's a thriving art form right now. But yeah, it's very interesting times. And we have to be smart to navigate it in as cautious as possible.
No, for sure. Pacino's saying that it's definitely a wait and see attitude. Comics are definitely in the gray area, but he's saying that the trading card game section of this is 100% being hit already. This is what he's hearing from multiple people. But yes, comics clearly within the gray area, but it's kind of what JSS was saying, that ripple effect, right? You wonder now, okay, what's going to happen? Are we going to start seeing prices come up on comics, which I feel like it's pretty much inevitable? Will they hold at those prices moving forward afterwards? I don't see comics going up to, let's say, from $4.99 to $6.99 an issue and then coming back down to $4.99. I don't know if I would see that. But Cliff bringing up a phenomenal point, and it's something that I wanted to touch on because you factor the big two like Marvel and DC. Okay, maybe we can get by this type thing, but those indie companies, you could talk Oni Press, you could talk Keenspot, you can talk, I'm gonna throw IDW into there based on assumption, but can they, afford to continue to operate currently the way they are now, or will prices start to change? There's a lot to factor here, and it's going on across the map. It goes beyond comics. We're seeing this whether it be cars, manufacturers, whether it be food, groceries, alcohol, you name it. This is taking place all across now, and so when you factor that as well, people now need to be a little more conscious about where they're spending their money. Now, hobby takes a back seat, right? All hobbies are going to take a back seat. You want to feed your families, right? Before you buy yourself a comic book. So I think that's what I'm looking at is where does the future of the new comic books stand? Obviously, I'm not talking back issues, eBay sales, for I don't know, Fantastic Four annual or whatever. No, I'm talking. You know why 6, I said that. Yeah, I'm on the hunt for Fantastic Four Annual 6, but
I'm very glad I got one.
Yeah, there's the diamond stuff going on as well. When you start to factor all these things for new comics, it's kind of like, man, we're in a crazy shifting point for new comics, and it's scary.
A couple of things though. One, I think Cliff's point is very valid, and that's what makes it really important to FOC your books. If the margin of error where they're not overprinting is slim, that means they also will have a slim ability to refill defective books, right? They might even hold back any overprint just for defects in the run, for when people want substitutions. So if you like a book, in the next little while, FOC it, because you'll get a discount to hopefully at least offset the rise in costs. So be smart. Not every shop's very smart when they're ordering. So FOC those books that you think that you're gonna want, right? That's one thing. Now, two, and I'm gonna be as politically correct as possible. I don't know how much credibility Bad Idea has with me on this one.
Yeah.
If I hear a statement from Penguin, Random House, Lunar, Marvel, DC, Image, anybody that says, hey man, buckle up, some things are going to go on, things are going to be changed, yes, I'm all there. But Bad Idea running a Kickstarter, and now they're all of a sudden worried that won't be able to fulfill certain things, smells a lot like them wanting to have a backdoor out of something that they were promising, that they're not so sure that they're going to be able to hit certain marks, and it won't be cost feasible for them to print the damn hardcover anymore. You know, like, I'm just saying it's not the most trustworthy of sources. So they're an untrustworthy narrator in this case for me.
For sure, I get your stance on that, but Bad Idea aside, because now they're saying they're losing $200,000 thanks to this. Was it because of this? I'm going to take their word for it and assume so. But back to the comics in general, of course, with everything going on, you can't help but wonder what's going to be the next step. And I think, as you said, you know, you're going to be getting a little more clarity within the upcoming days, because this is all happening so fast. There's a lot taking place on both sides, more than two sides. Obviously, there's China involved. There's multiple things taking place, but it is something to keep an eye out on. And I really hope, you know, that it'll simmer down. You know, I was thinking LCSs, and you know, David Lepage in the chat is saying that his local comic shop doesn't follow shows like this one, and you know, they're always shocked at his orders. I think, you know, should we see a surge in price in order for, you know, for especially for new comics, I think come new comic book day, guys, you're gonna be seeing a lot less inventory on the shelves for new comic book day. I think shops are going to be ordering specifically for what they know people are pulling, and that's probably it. I don't think we're going to be able to walk into a shop and find extra copies of Marvel Rivals already, though that is difficult to find. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like those extra copies, I think, are going to be very few and far between. So that brings down print run, and that's something that is clearly going to happen no matter what the case is, especially if we're going to see, you know, prices go up, things being a little more difficult. This is where we're at, what it seems like right now.
Ironically, I think we've seen a lot of talk about the indies, right?
Yeah.
Of how they're going to affect the indies, and how it's funny because a lot of the indies are passion projects from creators, right? That are creator-owned passion projects.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely those are going to be harder to find.
Yeah, ratios are going to be almost impossible if that's the case.
Yeah. So I think in the short term, an indie creator may take a hit to keep his price down because it's a passion project and it comes out of his pocket, more so than Marvel or DC or a big publisher will to keep their costs down when they're a machine that just basically is there to churn out IP and meet a profit margin. I think there's better. That's why a lot of times you see indie projects that are passion projects at a $2.99 or $3.99 price point, when you see at a $4.99, $5.99 with lesser quality production at the big two.
Marvel.
So I think we may actually see the indies hold that price point lower and continuing thriving that they've done in the last year. Then we'll see the opposite effect. I think there's more danger on the other side.
I want to hope so, Chia. But the thing is, if they're already operating with very minimal, right? How much more juice can they squeeze out of that lemon, bro? It seems like there's
It's
not
their
much
work,
left.
right? It's like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's their time, So anything they get, it's their. And a lot of the indies, let's be, the work of the indie is you're producing the copy, you're hoping to sell it and make the big payday elsewhere. Like that's what it is. They're basically Bibles for product for movies and shows. That's what they are basically. So a lot of times,
Yeah.
So it's a passion project plus that, So again, I'm not saying we're just spitballing here. None of us know the future at all.
Nope.
All we can hope for is that collectively we have shows like this that help guide us and steer us in the proper direction with like-minded comic lovers the way we all are, and that we share the stories and the information, and we keep a level head, and we cut through all the doom and gloom naysayers, and we focus on the positivity.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was very well said. Again, nothing concrete. There's nothing confirming, but there are things that you need to factor. If things like paper get hit, just anything related to hobbies. Pacino was saying in the chat that apparently the trading card game side of collecting is now taking a hit. So I would expect something on this side. Go ahead.
Deeds made a point. It's like, why do we think that it'll affect the tariffs will affect comic? I gotta say, I have no idea if they're gonna affect comic book. If they don't affect comic books, I don't think they're the trading card either. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of shady dealers are gonna start doing. It's like that fake inflation that we dealt with the last 3 years, where we had real inflation and a bunch of supermarkets said, "Oh, things went up 10%, but I think let's boost it up 25%." And they kept pushing us like that with that fake inflation that didn't really exist. They added on to the inflation. It happened all sorts of, because they're all a monopoly up here, all the supermarket chains. So don't be surprised if some of these shadier stores and everything, look for the information that are coming from valuable sources that are, whether it's here, whether it's Covrprice, whether it's Newsarama. Like, there's plenty of sources out there that will cut through the bull, and don't listen to like a dealer out there, like the same thing I said with Bad Idea. I want to hear it from the reputable sources. We have no information. Like when I saw the list of things, it never said comics. Now I do think, like we said earlier, regardless, even if comics are affected, the market will be affected, because the longer it goes, people will have less disposable income.
Of course,
that's different. That's a whole different thing than, there's an effect coming for sure.
Yeah,
in some way or another.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Let's pretend there's nothing that impacts comics in general, right? Like they stay regular price, but the fact that everything else is going up, like you said, the disposable income now becomes a lot less. So I would expect people dropping out of the hobby. That's the reality. Maybe the occasional purchase here and there when you have extra money to splurge, but I definitely am going to keep an eye out to see what's the next fallouts and.
But to counter that point, comics have already been an expensive hobby to begin with.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you're already in the game this long, I'm not sure the extra expense is going to take you out of the hobby completely.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? It's not like you're going from $1 to $4.
Yeah.
Like you're already at $4, like at $4 or $5. They've already pushed us up to $8. You know what I'm trying to say?
Bro, we still buy those $9.99 anniversary.
Exactly my point. So we're already being conditioned to spend. Now maybe it'll stop some it'll stop some how do you call it again, publishers from printing $9.99 books for the or soliciting them for a while.
Yeah,
maybe that will be the case.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. But like I said, it's going to be interesting to keep an eye out on. Am I expecting changes at this rate? Who knows? Everything's happening so fast. But yeah, I think for now that's going to be a wrap on this. I'm keeping my eye out on this for sure.
And guys, follow guys like Black Crown. They'll always post stuff on Instagram that won't steer you wrong. That's the kind of stuff. Don't follow me. I just post like ridiculous Habs talk or ridiculous Marvel MCU stuff. So don't follow me. It's not pointless. But follow Black Crown or people like Lifteros or Covrprice, and those guys. They push out the information that actually makes sense, and gives valuable information on how to navigate these fun and interesting times.
Yeah, I appreciate it. There's a lot more other great people with great content, having great discussions that you could find out there. Which nothing but love. I could name thousands and thousands. There's so many great.
Yeah,
people.
But I'm not asked to be on their show, so I'm not gonna start pumping them. Right? I know where my bread is buttered, baby. I'm gonna always pump up the host.
I appreciate the cheap plug, but I want to say, guys, chat, I'm actually very proud of you, man, because it was just an open conversation. Nobody was getting crazy riled up. If you're catching the replay, though, comment below. I'm curious to know what you guys think of this, right? We just ran through some of the possibilities, some of our thoughts, and what could happen, what we foresee happening. So yeah, man, hit us down below in the comment section. Let us know what you guys thought. Chia, thank you, of course, for hopping on to have this discussion. I think I'm anticipating a text message from you Tuesday morning if we get to the Fantastic Four trailer. I already know.
I'm booked. I took a meeting room at work. I'm only gonna go in the meeting room just to watch the trailer.
That's fantastic that you booked a meeting for yourself to watch the trailer. But I do want to shout out Trek Wars, TJ, who's in the house, saying A+ chat. That's one thing I have to say I'm very proud of, guys.
Thank you, Dan.
I know. Yeah, I know that you think it's kind of cheesy or cliche when people who create content say, I don't do this for the views, I don't do this for the sub count. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. What really drives me to continue doing this and come back here every single week is the fact that the regulars who come here for the live show, the live chats, I see you guys, man, and you are some of the best people I have ever come across, because I don't see anybody going at each other's throats. I don't see some of the shit I see on other channels.
So good.
Drama free. Those of you who rock hard with the hobby come here to hang out, and that alone means the world. So thank you for tuning in. Now, Chia is going live tomorrow for his new comic book day live show that takes place every Monday on YouTube. You can find the link in the description of this video. Come hang out. Get yourself some comics for dirt cheap. They give away some crazy stuff. Man, they were giving away that Peach Momoko Fantastic Four 28 with Galacta and Jeff the Land Shark on the cover for free. If you bought any book throughout the show, you got that book for free. So shout out to you guys doing some wonderful things on YouTube. Unfortunately, the only down part is you have to deal with Chia for like 3 hours.
The worst.
Yeah, I apologize in advance for that.
But you only get to see my hands. I'm placing the books.
Yeah, and the back of his head. The back of his head. Sometimes you get the back.
Occasionally, if I have to go get one, like I have to dip and I have to go in for the thing, I get cut off a lot from my brother. So and Chris.
Whenever I see the back of his head, like I'm watching the screen and just with my hands right away, I'm just like, I want to give him a shot, but I'm not allowed. It's physically impossible. But yeah, man. Chia, bro, thank you so much for hopping on. Guys, this Tuesday, don't forget Covrprice. We're going to give you guys the top 10 books of the week, so you can catch me there. And, of course, catch me hosting the Shaker Show over on Covrprice this Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. No live show next Sunday. It's Super Bowl. I plan on eating like a disgusting pig, having nachos, pizza, chicken wings, chicken tenders, you name it. I love all of that stuff for the Super Bowl and the Puppy Bowl. That's right. We start with the Puppy Bowl, right?
Hey, what time is the Puppy Bowl? Because that's important. The Puppy Bowl is important.
I think the Puppy Bowl starts at I want to say around the 1 p.m. mark, noonish.
What is the Puppy Bowl?
So it's basically like a bunch of dogs, like puppies that are up for adoption, and they play football against each other. They put them in a stadium. There's performances sometimes, like there's the cats that are cheerleaders, or you might have guinea pigs or whatever it is. It's hilarious, bro. It's hilarious. The dogs play a game. They throw a football toy in the middle, and whoever takes it to the end zone gets a touchdown. That's really how it works.
All right.
Yeah, and you could adopt the dogs, so that's cool.
I guess that's cool. Perfect.
That's what it's for, bro. They want to show you guys the dogs that you could adopt. Give them a new home. They're superstars, so do that. But anyways, Puppy Bowl, Super Bowl. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, comment below. Let us know what you guys thought of all the discussions tonight. We appreciate you. Have yourselves a great week. I'll see you Tuesday, top 10.
Later.
Adios.
Peace out.